Cancer, and welcome to your astrological breakdown for the new year. We are going to go over the chart for New Year's Eve and align it to a Cancer rising, and I will give you kind of a breakdown of what you can expect based on the birth chart of 2023. There will be an extended reading month by month for your sign, and the link will be below. So please do check it out after this. It is just the cost of a Patreon subscription for my Patreon page. You can get that for as little as $1. Anyway, getting on with your reading, let's look at what's coming up for you this year. In your first house, we have Black Moon Lilith and Pallas Athena. Both energies are highly focused on strong female energy. So I see that you are definitely bringing through that strong energy around the home and family, but that is because you're Cancer rising. So it's Cancer rising, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, Saturn. I take all into account, and I have actually watched videos based on all of those planets, and I think they're really helpful. So if you are any of those, you can definitely look at this video for more guidance for the year. Black Moon Lilith is actually an energy associated with mythology. She represents the wife of Adam, who was taken from his rib, and his first wife, who refused to get on board with subservience. And so she has a really strong power of sexual independence and autonomy. And so that energy in your first house really expresses that kind of independence and expression of autonomy, especially in a sexual nature. Pallas Athena in your first house is a strong warrior goddess, and she is in opposition to the Capricorn planets right now. So with this chart, we are seeing this really strong sense of independence and self coming in for the beginning of the year, but in opposition by degree to Mercury retrograde for Pallas Athena, and pretty close to by degree to the Sun at 11 degrees in Capricorn. And so there is a really strong polarity going on between Cancer, home and hearth, and family and identity, associated in counterbalance to all the Capricorn energy going on in your marriage and partnership house. If you have strong Cancer or Capricorn planets, there is a polarity going on between feminine energy and having a say, and what the authority energy of Capricorn wants to do. So it can sound like everyone's against you. It can feel like the system is not on board with where you want to go. And that may also include the system of marriage, which Capricorn rules that part of your chart. So having Sun at 11 degrees Capricorn in the house of marriage and partnership is about what kind of energy you're putting into doing for others, and taking responsibility and ownership in that particular arena of marriage or partnership. Could be business partnership as well. It's also social work. Libra, the sign of Libra, rules social work. And so it is a very social energy. It is an air energy of Libra, that house ruler. And so you find that you may do things for other people. And I mean, likely you do things for other people associated with your marriage or a business contract or social work. But the Sun is really shining where the responsibility needs to be taken. And then Mercury, which is retrograde, is really highlighting the words that are said, and are they being sincere and legitimate and real? Are they honest and truthful and responsible words? Because Mercury is also in negative aspect to Mars at the time, and the Sun is in conjunct or quincunx to Mars, which is 150 degrees apart on New Year's Eve. Definitely words matter. And coming into the new year, you'll find that having the Sun, which is ego, in quincunx to Mars in Gemini, it's in the 12th house. So it's going to be this friction energy of, you need to be honest and truthful with me. And Mars wants to just do whatever it takes to get things done. But of course, being retrograde, Mars answers to Mercury, which is at 23 Capricorn, and that's retrograde. So both energies are retrograde. And that means that they are somewhat working in tandem, but at the same time, they are triggering each other. So if you find you're triggered by words of another, this is a strong reason why, especially with Mars in your 12th house. That's going to be the subconscious or subliminal energy. It may also mean that there are people who are doing things that you don't know about behind the scenes or taking gossipy action against you, which would be Mars retrograde in Gemini. But they are being taken to task, and they're associated with a partner, and having Mercury retrograding all the way back to, I believe it is 8 degrees. I'll double check on that right now. Yeah, Mercury retrogrades back to 8 degrees and 18 minutes. If you look at where Mars is right now, it's at 8 degrees in the sky. So Mercury goes all the way back to an exact quincunx to Mars and when it's retrograde. And so that's going to be a story. That's going to be a story about what kind of words have been said and action taken on those words. It is not a surprise to astrologers that Trump is having issues right now, being that he has a Gemini sun. He may also have other planets. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think he might have Mercury and Gemini as well. But Mercury going back to that exact degree, it is really the structure and rules Mercury is answering to in Capricorn are really coming out and being validating to take people to task for their behavior and their actions in the past when Mars was direct. Mars went into Gemini the 21st of August. So by the time he gets into Cancer, which will be May 5th, he will have been there 7 months. So here we are in December, what's that, 4 months? And January's 5 months, he will have been in Gemini. So for the first few months between August and roughly November, we saw the actions, the words being taken, and, really on some level, whatever means to get things done, whatever we had to say to get things done. And this is also a subliminal energy for you. So Mars in your 12th house means you are really trying to understand your mindset and the thoughts that keep coming in very rapidly. With Mars and Gemini in your 12th, it means that you may have very intense dreams, prophetic dreams, communication from spirit comes in while you sleep. And you can also be overthinking, and having Mercury coming into a quincunx position against Mars in Gemini is going to really bring out where those thoughts are leading and how you have to take ownership of what kind of thoughts or even words and actions, because thoughts are the 12th house, words are Gemini, and actions are Mars. And Mercury coming back all the way to 8 degrees will actually go over the sun early this year and speak to the sun, which is again the ego. So Capricorns are also probably having a difficult time, but because your sign is opposite to Capricorn, and with 4 planets and lights in Capricorn, they laser over to the opposite side in expression, which means they are really activating your first house and you want a security, you want legitimacy, you want responsibility and reliability, and especially when it comes to marriage and partnership. And that situation, not going to kid here, Venus joined with Pluto has probably brought in a strong shift around marriage and partnership. It is desire, it is love and money, it is also women. And because Venus has been opposite Black Moon Lilith, feminine energy, and Pallas Athena, feminine energy, there was some type of polarity with women. So that may mean another person in your marriage. It may mean you're the other person in the marriage. It can definitely resonate to that vibration. And so as Venus comes up on leaving the house early, in a couple days actually, into Aquarius, it will be a culmination of that storyline. And then moving into Aquarius, there is a strong detachment from emotion and really more focus on the collective. So while Venus is joined up with Pluto, which is the ruler of the 8th house, and then Venus talked to Pluto, expressing all the hidden energy, and then Venus moves on into Aquarius, where everything will come out and be shown. That's the storyline you're going to get early this year, that information will come out, desires come out, commitment may come about. And that's what Venus going into the 8th house will do. And then being in Aquarius, there is a certain detachment from ownership or responsibility for where you have been around Capricorn. The transit of Pluto through Capricorn for you in your chart has really been a storyline around taking ownership of your personal needs and expression and not always taking ownership of everyone else's. It's really difficult for Capricorn energy to not just own everything in sight and say, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, and then become resentful. So as Venus has gone over Pluto and Mercury almost went over Pluto, but retrograded and will go over Pluto in the near future, there will be a watershed moment, so to speak, of rules and restrictions and really feeling kind of like Elsa in Frozen, where you're like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go off and be who I am. And that's really the energy. I got chills with that for you. So that's really the energy coming in for early this year. And then, like I said, Venus going into Aquarius, she will be in the Aquarian energy for about a month and then talk to Saturn. And so there is a desire for autonomy and independence, how to make money through your own endeavors. It is the house of joint finances. But in Aquarius now, she's going, okay, how can I earn my own money? Even if you're still in a marriage, even if you're going to stay committed, there has to be some kind of expression of financial security as she goes into that eighth house and then joins up with Saturn, which is career, and that's autonomy and entrepreneurship. So as she gets closer to Saturn, she's going to really express a need for independence, but also earning money and having her own voice in her life purpose and career. Having Saturn in your house of joint finances means there may be a partner that will help you. And it could be a marriage partner, but it doesn't have to be, who will help you set up a business legally, which is also what that energy in that house stands for, is legalities and the law. Saturn going into the last degrees before he hits Pisces. He will hit Pisces. We'll talk about that in the extended astrology on my Patreon page. He'll be getting his independence, so to speak, as he finishes up this energy, goes into Pisces. And then Pisces is the energy of psychic awareness. And it is co-ruled by Jupiter, and it is the Jupiter house with Sagittarius. So you're going to find a really strong desire to travel. This is an emotional sense. This is maybe even a time of going back to your land of birth. Saturn is fathers and paternalism. Moving into Pisces is the structure of fathers, and also rooting in and taking ownership of the fatherly energy and the past, the energy from, vintage era or times gone by. History is a big part of Pisces, and really being sentimental and going to the past. So I see really strong opportunity for travel, maybe associated with a career move, but definitely a father or something going back to the past. You also have Vesta in that same house, which is home and hearth. So there's an opportunity to move home. You have Neptune. Neptune will be going, let's see, retrograde about 6 months into the year. We'll get to that also in the extended reading. But Neptune just went direct actually not long ago, and so is now moving forward, a little bit more dreamy. The information is coming in for you very fast in the collective, especially about people from far away, foreign culture, maybe even learning a language, going back to college, or doing some kind of educational endeavor, which the ninth house is higher understanding, higher learning, spiritual growth. So there's always that with Neptune in Pisces, its own sign. It is the sage, the wise one of the zodiac. And coming up on your midheaven, there can be some type of metaphysical opportunity for earning an income or having a spotlight on you as time goes on. And that'll be over the next 2 or 3 years when Neptune hits your midheaven. And then you have Juno at the midheaven. This can mean marriage coming in. Juno is the asteroid of marriage and commitment in a marriage. And it's finishing up the degrees there and going into Aries, which is a new opportunity for a marriage in the spotlight. And then Jupiter right now is at your midheaven. On New Year's Eve, you're going to have a tremendous opportunity for fame and fortune with Jupiter in your house of career in Aries, which is self-promotion, sales. It also rules the head. It rules aggression and assertiveness. It rules ambition. So you're really entering a very strong cycle for the next few months of putting yourself out there, being in the public eye, getting your business up and running and in the spotlight. And you have Chiron at 11 degrees, and Chiron is the wounded healer. It is also the humanities with sociology, the arts, music, poetry, things like that. So there's an opportunity for an expansion of that type of endeavor in your career area. Taurus energy for you, you have North Node, Moon, Uranus, all conjunct up there in your house of social groups and networking. It is also the Aquarius house, so it rules humanitarianism, entrepreneurship, science, and also humanity, humanitarianism, and connectedness, the collective. There's also some channeled energy that can come in with Uranus up in its own house for you. Having the moon there exactly conjunct to Uranus on New Year's Eve means the year will be a time of home and really changing things around. The Aquarian energy doesn't like to keep things static. It really has to have change, and that's how new things come about. It is a very light energy. It is Aquarian in nature, and so that is the year we are coming into with Pluto moving into Aquarius this year. I will get back to that in a second. But Uranus moving direct the third week of January is going to bring in more ideas. It's going to bring in entrepreneurial opportunities and a change of your soul group, being in more alignment with the people you're supposed to be, having a connection to the home, but it is clarifying energy around mother, around entrepreneurship, and maybe even doing something out of the home as an entrepreneurial endeavor or focused on the home. And then getting back to Pluto going into Aquarius this year, that happens on March 23rd. So 3/23/23. And that is the heralding in of the age of Aquarius. For you, that is highly focused on commitment, on death and rebirth. It is a time to transform. Pluto, in and of itself, really does create a shift and change, and we never go back to how we were. There is a major ideological shift coming in for you. And because it's moving from Capricorn and structure and hierarchy into what is seemingly chaos, but really quantum energy, where we are engaging with energy that comes at us from every direction. There may be some energy associated with mental health, with how you see yourself as seen through other people's eyes, how you commit to a connection with another person, but also the entrepreneurship will be highly infused at this time. And Pluto just changes your ideology, and the growth and the phoenix of that energy will come in. So it is the death of one thing, of an old way, and the birth of a new one. For you, it goes from partnerships of some sort, whether it's business or marriage, maybe ending and moving into a more autonomous storyline for you that's really creating more freedom for you, even if it shifts to a new marriage situation, if you're getting married, which this energy can also do because it's going over the cusp from the desire in the house of marriage to the manifestation in the 8th house. Okay, finally, Mars moving through your 11th house, or your 12th house, excuse me, is going to bring up subliminal issues around assertiveness, around aggressiveness, around ambition, associated with getting your voice heard. You want to be heard. You want people to understand where you're coming from, because Mars is retrograde at the new year in this chart. It's kind of enmeshed in a frustration energy, kind of accented by the ruling planet of Gemini in a retrograde motion also. But really, if you get this in the next 2 days, when I post it tonight, very strong time of shift and change for you around understanding another person, around desires and a dream for your future, and understanding where another person is coming from, and really getting real with universal love, which is the 12th house. When Mars goes direct on the 12th of this month, it's going to really shift things forward again. And by May 5th, it goes into your first house, and that will really bring more added growth around family, more embeddedness in the family culture, and a focus more on mom and domesticity and how you can really create that home life. So that's your year in a nutshell. Again, if you would like more information month by month coming up, go check out the Patreon link below. It won't cost much and it really helps out. So thank you so much for stopping by. Please do like, comment, and subscribe and share this video if you like it. Take care. Bye. Have a great new year.
Hi, this is Shelley. Thank you for joining us this week. To contact me for a private reading, go to angeliczodiac.com under the Readings tab. To purchase my ebook, Learn Astrology, you can find it at angeliczodiac.com. Background music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Be sure to check back next week and subscribe through iTunes at Astro Energy Astrology Show.